Live for Game 3 of the Nations Cup. This morning's game is going to be against two teams that are one win, one tie in the tournament so far. Compuware Tier 2 against the Fort Wayne Force. Compuware in blue, Force in white. I'll catch you if you fall. It looks like somebody else did fall out there and took out this wall. All right, on the ice for the Force is going to be Hagen, Fraze. Assuming Potts. Yeah, Potts is out there with Llewellyn and Warner. Game 3, Nations Cup. Opening face-off in the skates of everybody. Hagen comes away with a loose puck. Hagen swings wide left. Hagen chips it towards the slot, picked up by Compuware. Fed to center ice, taken away by Hagen. Hagen to the right, shot, score! Hagen with the steal at center ice, puts it in the back of the net. Force control that face-off on the stick of Fraze. Fraze sends it ahead as Potts dumps it in. Hagen gonna race towards the puck there, lifts the stick of the Compuware player. Fraze puts it on the slot. Oh, cuts through the crease. Potts is almost there to bury it. Warner up high, shoots one towards the net, goes around behind. Picked up by Compuware. Fed to the center there, taken away by Compuware as they pick up the puck and flip it to the neutral zone, back for Warner. Warner flips it over to Llewellyn. Llewellyn sends it ahead as it's touched into the offensive zone for the Force. Compuware picks up the loose puck, heads through center ice. Into the offensive zone for Compuware, towards the net, right towards the slot there, taken away by Kelly and thrown into the corner. Potts there to pick it up and flip it ahead. Potts and Cumberland, well, that's Potts and McDonald, had him pitched off in the corner as Compuware enters the offensive zone. Blackburn on defense, cut towards the net, cleared out by Kelly. Picked up by Potts. Potts sends it all the way down the rink. We go for icing. 11-18 remains here in the first. Force up one. Face off one back by Compuware, shot towards the net. Doesn't reach its intended target. Picked up in the corner by Compuware, defended by Blackburn. Puck comes out for Compuware down low, flip it towards the slot, cleared out by Kelly. Blackburn backhands it ahead to Huffman. Huffman battling for it, battling tough for it. There we go. Right here in front of me at the boards. Real pushing and shoving back and forth, picked up by Max McDonald. McDonald, the line to gain, towards the net, rips one right through. There's Compuware on a rush back the other way. Backhanded towards the net, goes around behind. Max McDonald, gonna be the first one there to pick it up. McDonald with speed. Comes off his stick as Compuware takes it back the other way. Kiefer off the bench, comes in contact with the player, and we're gonna get a penalty here. Too many men on the ice. So at 10:17 remaining in the first period, the Force are going to go to a penalty kill. Penalty killers for the Force are going to be Sutherland, Westhoff, Cumberland, and Llewellyn. Face off one by Compuware, spin move, shot, blocked in front by Cumberland, picked up by Westhoff as he flips it out of danger. Puck all the way down at the other end of the rink. Compuware gathers behind their own net. Tries to break out, stopped there by a couple of Force players. They regather and attempt to break out once again. Into the neutral zone, stopped there by Westhoff. Westhoff with it, wide left, he's tied up, flips it towards, it went off the goaltender's helmet. We're under a minute on the too many men penalty, picked up by Cumberland. Ripped around the boards, up to Sutherland, touch pass into the neutral zone, gathered by Compuware. They feed it across, stolen pass by Westhoff. Westhoff dumps it in. Force go for a change, and back comes Compuware. As they feed it in, it comes on net, stick to the corner by Quas. Fraze flips it down the boards, onto the stick of Hagen for the moment. Compuware overskates that as Hagen picks up the loose puck. Over into the neutral zone, that's Fraze coming in contact with Compuware player. Onto the stick of Hagen. Hagen around one, Hagen around two. Loses a handle on it, Compuware picks it up. Back the other way comes Compuware, knocked off his stick by Hagen. Penalty expires on the too many men. cleared out by Fraze. Fraze picks up that loose puck, chips it off the boards, up to himself. He's got Potts and Hagen ahead on his right. Across the line gain. Comes off his skates. I believe that'll be offsides. So we're up 1 here with 8:27 remaining in the first. Face off one back by the Force to Kelly. Kelly dumps it in. Hagen, the lead skater there for the Force, with Fraze around the other side, and Potts soon to attend the party as Compuware breaks out here. They get a breakaway. It's going to be Compuware towards the net against Quas. Glove save, Quas! Back on the doorstep, another save covered up by Quas. We got 2 to the box here. It's going to be Potts and a Compuware player on that scuffle in front of the net of Quas. Face off one back by Compuware. Shot towards the net, goes wide. Over is Fryer on the boards. Now picked up by Cumberland, flipped ahead. Touched up by Fryer into the neutral zone. Huffman and McDonald, the lead skaters there for the Force, taken away by Compuware. Entered back in. Shot from deep, goes up high over the net, picked up by Cumberland in the corner.
Behind you!
Kelly getting into position here. Puck comes out, shot, goes off the glove of Clausen in the net. Tied up the game there, Compuware. Isaac Sutherland to take the face-off. Compuware knocks it in the offensive zone for them, cleared out by Warner. Tied up on the boards. It's Kiefer. Sutherland adding into it. Loose puck. And we got a penalty coming up here on Compuware. So the Force will go to a power play at 7:32 remaining in the first period. The game is tied up 1-1. Power play unit for the Force is going to be Sutherland, Kiefer. I think that's Westhoff, Warner, and Blackburn. Back to Warner. Shot from deep. Score! On that Warner shot, the Force go up 1. Puck comes back for Sutherland, backhanded up but not out, kept in by Compuware. Down low, going to be picked up in the corner by Blackburn. He's got Westhoff ahead of him. Sends it up the boards, but gets stopped. Still fighting down low, taken away by Compuware. Gathered up by Sutherland, now back to Blackburn, and around the boards it goes. Compuware picks it up, flips it back down low, almost stopped by Blackburn, hops his stick, comes out front, fed to the slot, shot attempt, couldn't get anything on it. Kiefer advances, picked up by Westhoff. Westhoff wisely dumps it in. advance forward. We got Compuware picked up by Kiefer. Kiefer flips it cross ice. It's going to be Fraze out front for the force. As the puck comes back to center ice, back on defense is going to be Llewellyn, and that is Cumberland riding him to the boards. Compuware picking up the loose puck. Hagen joins, takes it onto the stick of Fraze. Fraze loses it. Compuware feeds it out to the blue line. Shot from deep, stopped in front by Llewellyn. Fed up high, off the glass into the neutral zone. Puck comes onto the stick of Hagen. Hagen around a couple defenders here. Hagen into the offensive zone, back to Fraze. Murphy towards the center, shot from deep, score! I don't know if that was touched. I'm not sure what is going on here, as the tip in would have been from Compuware. So we got Warner having a conference here with the official, as the shot from Fraze would have been tipped in by a Compuware player, and they are calling that no goal. So Force still up one here, 5:48 remaining on the missed call by the official. Face off one back to Potts, dumps it in the offensive zone, taken away by Compuware. Flip towards the neutral ice. It's going to be offsides on Fort Wayne. Face off, retreating back is going to be Cumberland, as he's pressured pretty well there by Compuware. Flip to the corner. Compuware towards the slot, comes all the way across ice. Picked up, nobody contending here, as Compuware is going to have plenty of time to send a shot, and Fraze comes over, blocks that shot attempt. Around behind the net. Llewellyn flips it ahead to Fraze. Murphy down the ice as we get a defensive change here for the Force. Puts Kelly and Blackburn on the ice. Compuware loses the handle on it. Picked up by Hagen. Hagen and Potts ahead. 2-on-2 for the Force. Hagen trying to find some room here. Swings wide right. Sends one towards the slot. Ends up going around behind the net. In the corner, picked up by Hagen. Hagen looking to make something happen here. He's got Potts on the doorstep on the backside. Potts now fighting for it. They're going to call a penalty on that. So down the ice they go. Pending penalty on the Force. Compuware towards the net. Take a shot, blocked by Kelly. Blown dead at 4:21, and Fort Wayne will go on the penalty kill. A block shot attempt by Kelly has her limping towards the bench. Wore that one like a champion and keep it out of the net. Penalty killers for the Force is going to be McDonald, Huffman, Warner, and Cumberland. This penalty kill will be brought to you by Cumberland Sons. Fed all the way down the ice, cleared out good because it's not going to reach the other end of the rink. As Compuware winds behind the net. Through center ice here. Defended well by McDonald. Knocks it off their stick and it's dumped in, I believe, offsides by Compuware. 3:55 left in the first.
Hey, don't react. You did the right thing. Make him mad.
Face off into the offensive zone for Compuware. Warner spins on it, tries to flip it out, kept in by Compuware. They feed it into the corner. Shot. Blocked away by Quas, loose behind the net, picked up by Compuware, fed to the slot, couldn't get anything on that pass. Shot from deep, tipped out in front, score. Loose rebound picked up by Compuware on the backside and dumped in. Ties it up 2-2 with 3:31 remaining. Face off, flipped up into the Compuware end here, backhanded towards the slot, picked up by Kelly, flipped to the corner, up to Kiefer. Kiefer puts it into neutral zone onto the stick of Sutherland. He's got Westoff, shot, gloved by Compuware. Back behind the net, gathered up by Kelly. Kelly passes it up to Kiefer, hops over his stick, pushes it up to Westoff. Oliver through center ice, swinging wide. He's got Kiefer in tow. Penalty coming up here on Compuware. Will send the Force to a power play. The remaining 2:33 in the first period. Power play unit for the Force is going to be Hagen, Fraze, Potts, Blackburn, and Warner. Yeah, the penalties put on the scoreboard. That's what the little delay here was. Face off. Comes all the way down the rink. Warner and Fraze back for it. Warner to pick it up. Loose behind the net. Flips it high off the glass. Touched into center ice with Fraze. Fraze has got Hagen to his left. 2-on-2. Fraze looking. Shot. Goes off the goaltender. Picked up by Fraze once again, feeds it out high to Warner. Warner gonna rip this one. Gets blocked in front, scoots across the ice into the left corner. Hagen towards center ice, shoots, score! Harrison Hagen for his second of the game, put the Force up 1. Hagen picking up the loose change, cutting right towards the center and putting it in to put the Force up 1 goal.
Hey, great job getting that out.
We're under 2 minutes here in the first period. Face off 1 back by the Force as they touch it ahead, taken away by Compuware. Compuware enters with some speed here, defended by Cumberland, and now Llewellyn backhanded up over the net. Huffman there for the force, takes a stick. Now McDonald joins it, takes away the puck. Compuware dumps it back down low for Llewellyn. Llewellyn circles around behind the net. Gaining speed, taken away for the moment, but it's flipped into the neutral zone. Compuware touches it in. It's going to be picked up by Max McDonald. He has it taken away. A couple of players there from Fort Wayne collide together. Compuware on the side of the net here, looking to wrap around, feed the slot. Shot goes through the crease and into the opposing corner. We got a penalty coming up here on Fort Wayne. That's going to be Aiden Cumberland picking up the penalty with 1:06 left here in the first. I think this is the most penalties we've had called in a game on the weekend.
Hey, you two, you gotta be careful how deep you get. Don't overload one side.
Penalty killers for the force is going to be Kelly, Warner, Westhoff, and Sutherland. Sutherland wins that back to Kelly. Kelly off the glass, around for Westhoff. Kept in low by Compuware. Westhoff clears it, cross ice, up high for Compuware. Shot. On to the stick of Sutherland. Isaac, down the side, dumps it into center ice. Compuware back the other way. Back on defense is Kelly and Warner. Shot from deep, right into the chest of Quas. We're at the 39-second mark in the first. Face off. Gathered up by Compuware, dumped in deep. Blackburn to slap it around, hops the stick of Compuware and goes into the neutral zone. Fed cross ice by Compuware, touching the offensive zone. We got a couple of blocks. The shot from Compuware rode up Sutherland's stick and went right over top side on Quas. So that negates the Cumberland penalty and puts it back to full strength. Tie game. 23 seconds remains in the first. Hagen wins the face-off back to Llewellyn. Feeds it ahead to Potts. Potts tips it ahead on the stick of Hagen. 17 seconds left. Hagen feeds it across to Fraze. Backhands it just wide. Puck comes all the way down the ice, going to be gathered up by Llewellyn as the period's going to expire here. Tie game 3-3 after one. Blackburn, Llewellyn, Hagen, Fraze, and Potts on the ice to start the second. Face-off. Going to be contested well there by Hagen. Dumps it in deep. Potts going to be the lead skater for the Force on the backside of the net. Potts. Now Fraze comes in. Cross ice, gathered up by Llewellyn as he feeds it and touched in by Potts. Potts towards the net. Potts with the backhand back. He gets stuffed by Compuware. Now onto the stick of Fraze. Fraze looking to make something happen as he gathers some speed here, winds into the offensive zone through a couple of players, finally loses an edge and falls down. Compuware flips it off the glass. Cross ice there, Blackburn on defense, he gets beat. As Compuware comes in, takes a shot down low, it's blocked there by Quas into the corner for Hagen. Now picked up by Llewellyn as he touches it ahead to Potts on the stick of Hagen, loses it. Compuware keeps it in their offensive zone. Contested there by Fraze. Into the corner for Potts. Out high, blocked in front by Hagen on that shot attempt from Compuware. Hagen with the puck. Hagen feeds it ahead, touched by Potts over to Fraze. Fraze has got one to beat here. He's defended well. Gathers it, feeds it cross to Cumberland. Cumberland with the shot, save, backhand attempt, another shot, score! Fraze picks it up and dumps in the rebound. Force up one once again, picked up by McDonald here after the face-off in the offensive zone, backhands it towards the slot, taken away by Compuware. Compuware has it taken away by Kelly, dumped back into the offensive zone. Huffman and McDonald ahead for the Force. Going to be picked up by Fryer and sent ahead to Cumberland. Blocked pass attempt there by McDonald. McDonald fighting hard for it down low between three Compuware players. Compuware running into each other. Picked up in the corner by Huffman. Huffman shoots it from wide, skips through the crease, opposing corner. Compuware loses the puck to McDonald. McDonald fights for it. Taken away by Compuware. Compuware sends it through the neutral zone, down the opposite end for an icing.
Up your foot back.
Face off, picked up by Compuware, kept in by the Force. Westhoff loses it. Wisely picked up by Llewellyn as he sends it cross ice for Warner. Warner dumps it back the other way. Kiefer in the mix as well as Compuware breaks out. And back the other way for the Force. Kiefer going to be the first one there. Fighting down low for the puck. Good position there. Joining the mix is Westhoff and now Sutherland. Puck kept in by Warner. Westhoff now fighting for it. Westhoff gathers it. Westhoff sends it up high. Couldn't connect with Llewellyn as the puck skips his stick and goes down in the defensive end for Fort Wayne. Roped around the boards over to Westhoff. Westhoff loses it to Compuware, picks it back up and flips it into center ice. Back to the opposite end of the rink. Compuware picks up the loose puck. I believe they're going to blow that dead for icing. As it appeared as though Compuware player touched it before it went across the line. It's an interesting call. 9:24 left in the second. Face off picked up by Compuware. It's kicked around in a few skates here. Hasn't been gathered up yet. Shot on net, save Quas. Face off, flipped around by Kelly, kept in by Compuware, advanced up the ice by Fort Wayne. Icing. Controlled by Compuware, taken away by Fraze. Fraze with some open ice. Fraze has got Hagen to his right. Fraze cuts towards the middle of the ice, loses it for a second, tries to feed the slot. Sliding save there by the Compuware player. Comes up to Kelly up high. Kelly looking to shoot, shoots from deep, tipped, scoots just wide right of the net. Fraze up ahead for the force, and now Potts putting on some pressure. Puck comes to center ice, it's going to be back for Kelly. Kelly keeping her head up, sends it. Keeps it for the moment, now sends it up to Hagen, touched into the neutral zone. Gonna be offsides. Face off, dumped into center ice, picked up by Huffman. Gia, tied up by a couple Compuware players. Touched off their stick by McDonald, kept in, into center ice he goes. Through a couple skates, getting back to gather it is going to be Max McDonald. It's in the corner. Breaking out there is Max McDonald, flips it into the offensive zone for Fort Wayne. Picked up by Compuware. Pressured by Huffman. And now McDonald joins it. Dump back down low by Llewellyn. Huffman to stuff him in the corner. Llewellyn with a shot from deep, tipped down low, backhanded towards the net. It's loose. And now it's finally covered. 7:22 remains in the second. Force up one. Face off, controlled by Compuware. They advance the puck up the ice through the neutral zone with some speed. Defended there by Warner around Blackburn as he touches it off their stick around behind the net. Fed to the slot, comes all the way down the ice. And that's going to be Westhoff racing ahead for it. He's going to get beat to the puck by Compuware. Flip back down in the neutral zone onto the stick of Warner as it's touched back to him. Dumped into the offensive zone for Fort Wayne. Back into center ice, and Blackburn back to gather it. And it's going to go for icing. Hagen fighting for it, comes away with it, cuts towards center ice. Hagen shot off the goaltender from Compuware. Potts picks it up in the corner, backhands it back to Hagen. Hagen shoots it towards the net, not on target, picked up by Fraze. Fraze off the boards to himself, tied up in the corner. Fed down the ice by Compuware. icing. Face-off controlled by Compuware around behind the net. Looking to take it himself through center ice, picking up speed. Defended by Hagen at the moment. Blackburn back on defense with Warner. Takes a shot, goes high. Skips to the opposite end of the rink. Puck comes into the neutral zone, gathered up by Compuware. As they enter. Defended around behind the net, feed the slot. Couldn't get a handle on that pass. Shot from wide, blocked by his own team, or maybe Hagen. Fraze flips it ahead, kept in by Compuware. Shot from deep, glove save by Quas. Face-off comes out for Compuware up high. They dump it back down low in the corner for Kelly. Kelly around the boards to, I'm going to assume that's Fryer. Kelly tried to flip that up and out and does. It's into center ice for Fryer. Fryer flips it in the offensive zone for Fort Wayne. They're going to get him for icing. Face-off win on net. Quas keeps it out with the pad there. It's out in front on the doorstep and a couple skates. Finally cleared out by Kelly. Huffman there to touch it ahead onto the stick of McDonald. McDonald's ahead. We got one to beat. McDonald cuts towards center ice here all alone. McDonald shoots it. Gets it knocked off his stick last moment. Feeds the slot. Nobody home. Huffman opposite side. Dumps it down low in the corner. Over for Fryer. Fryer has it stripped away by Compuware. Up high, shot by Cumberland. And secondary shot attempt fanned on by Huffman. Fought for down low by McDonald. Taken away by Compuware. Compuware tries to break out. Kept in by Huffman. Compuware advancing down the ice. Taken away. Back onto the stick of Compuware. Kiefer puts it to the neutral zone. Compuware gathers. Breaks it away and dumps it back in. Their offensive zone, back to center ice it comes. Flipped ahead, block pass attempt by Huffman. Compuware flips it down the ice. It's going to be gathered by Kelly. Kelly surveying and breaks it out herself. Flips it into center ice. Compuware takes it away. Back down low. Picked up by Compuware at center ice, entering their offensive zone. Defended there, stripped by Westhoff. He loses it for a second in his skates, and now it's going to be picked up by Westhoff. Entered. Westhoff swings wide, shot, sticked high up over the net by the goaltender from Compuware. Kiefer touches it, has it stripped by Compuware and taken the other way. Puck over the line to gain for Compuware. Fans on the shot attempt as it goes down low and sent back the other way by the force. Pressured by Sutherland. As they come away with it, skate it towards center ice. Backhanded, goes wide. Compuware gains that rebound. Another shot attempt, saved by Quas. Covered up. And frozen puck. .232 left to here in the second. Force up 1 goal. Face-off controlled by Fort Wayne. Fed into the danger zone there by Llewellyn, but it's cleared to the sideboards. And out to center ice. Compuware, pressured by Hagen, loses the handle on it. Tipped ahead by Potts. Kept in by Fraze. And back the other way. Cross ice. Hagen hot after it. It's tipped past him by Compuware. Llewellyn comes up to apply some pressure, taken away by Fraze. Murphy trying to find his feet here. Kept out from in front of the net by Warner. And we're at 1:48 remaining here in the second. Face-off comes right towards the middle, blocked by Blackburn. Another shot attempt comes through, but doesn't go on net. Cleared into the netting by Warner. Face-off, flipped up over the net. Huffman there for the force. Loose puck, touched ahead by Fryer. Taken away by Compuware. Back on defense of Warner and Blackburn. Fryer down there battling for a loose puck. Advanced down the ice by McDonald. Max McDonald swings wide right, loses a handle on the puck. It comes to Fryer. Fryer backhands one towards the net, gloved by Compuware. Placed back on the ice. Under a minute here left in the second. Kept in by Blackburn at the blue line. Picked up by Compuware, advanced forward. Blackburn backs it into the neutral zone. Compuware touching up. Enter back in their offensive zone, pressured by Huffman. Blackburn strips the loose puck. Blackburn through center ice. Comes off his skates, dumps it in the offensive zone. 30 seconds left in the period. Compuware advancing the puck, flips it towards center ice onto the stick of Huffman. Huffman tied up by multiple players here. Compuware the other way. Warner back on defense. Pokes it away, clears it out on the stick of Huffman. Touch to center ice. Flip back in the offensive zone. It's going to be offsides on Compuware with a second left here in the second. Face off, ends the period, force up one after two.
Continue to put the
Starting off on the ice rather, for the Force for the third period is going to be Westhoff, Sutherland, Kiefer, with Llewellyn and Kelly as the defensemen. Loose puck picked up there by Westhoff. Westhoff dumps in the offensive zone for Fort Wayne. Flipped back out by Compuware to Kelly. Kelly touches it off the boards, back in the offensive zone. Back to center ice. Kiefer with it now. Has it stripped. Compuware. The line to gain, feeds it towards the slot, taken away by Kelly, flipped ahead to Sutherland, touch passed up to Westhoff. Westhoff puts it to center ice. Compuware looking to feed it across, dump it in. Defended well there by Kelly, and Kiefer puts it back down the ice. Picked up by Compuware as they gather on their end of the arena here. Going to be offsides. Face-off win back by the Force to Warner. Warner feeds it over to Cumberland. Cumberland up and touched in by Potts. Back to center ice for Cumberland. Potts. Fanned on pass attempt by Compuware. Hagen picks it up, feeds it over to Fraze. Fraze with a shot, score! Nice work there by the Force. Hagen to Fraze to put him up 2.
Hey, that's you. Harry, nice look. Harry, way to be there. Way to call for that puck.
Early goal there for the Force in the third period. Puck comes all the way down the ice. It's going to be right on net. Covered up by Quas.
He's going to try and shoot it. Get to him, inside. Inside. There you go.
Face-off one back by the Force to Blackburn. He turns and feeds it to Huffman. Huffman chips it into the neutral zone. Gathered up by Compuware. Pressured by Huffman. Puck comes back for Blackburn. Feeds it back down the ice. Kept in by Compuware. Back to Blackburn. Blackburn defending here. Shot blocked by Blackburn. Stick lift there by Warner, taking the puck and feeding it up to Fryer. Fryer advances the puck into the neutral zone. Fans on a pass attempt. Tied up by Compuware, taken back the other way. Back on defense, the lone defender is Blackburn. They swing wide. Shoot. Goes wide. Defended by Blackburn now. Lifts the stick. Steals the puck. Tied up by a couple players here. Out to the slot. Shot. Blocked by Warner up high. It's down low. Cleared out by Blackburn as the puck goes to center ice and out of danger for Fort Wayne. Compuware through center ice here. Back on defense is Kelly and Blackburn. Send to the side by Blackburn. Shot off the side of the net. Kept down low by Compuware. Kelly fighting for it. Puts it in the corner for Potts. That was Fryer, McDonald, shot, goes through the crease. Blackburn over on defense here, takes the puck away, tries to feed it up, can't get anything on that pass attempt. Touched ahead by McDonald. McDonald through center ice now. Feeds it in the offensive zone for Fort Wayne as the Force are going to go for some changes here with 9:43 remaining in the third, up 2 goals. Compuware through center ice here. With speed, enters hot. Swinging wide, shot, saved Quas. Cleared out by Llewellyn into the corner for Kelly. Kelly flips it ahead to Kiefer. Kiefer touches it into the neutral zone, but they say it was kept in by Compuware. Kelly now forcing him to the corner. They cut towards the net, comes out in front. Shot goes way up high over the net. And Compuware gathers it. Another shot from deep. Comes on to Quas. He kicks it to the side with a pad, picked up by Kelly, and around behind the net, and off the boards, up to Kiefer. Kiefer pinched off by Compuware. Sustained offensive pressure by Compuware. Shot from deep, goes wide right. It's a long shift here for these force players. And a long time in the wrong end of the ice. McDonald pressured and stopped his advancement as they've still battled down low. Llewellyn feeds it ahead to Westhoff. Westhoff into the neutral zone. Puck comes out for Compuware. They feed it cross ice back into their offensive zone, and Kelly going to come back to gather it. Kelly backhands it around for Westhoff and Llewellyn there for Fort Wayne. Fighting for it's Westhoff. Westhoff touches ahead to McDonald. McDonald around a defender here. Kept in by Compuware. They're looking to shoot. Shoot it. Goes wide left. 8 minutes left in the second. Kelly down low for the force. Picked up by Compuware in the corner. Taken away by McDonald. McDonald now with some speed. Through center ice. Around multiple players. Taking off his skates. Force getting a couple of changes here to get some fresh bodies on the ice. Back the other way comes Compuware. Back on defense is Warner with Cumberland. Feed it around behind the net, backhanded towards the slot, cleared out there by McDonald. Gathered up by Compuware once again. Shot goes high up over the top of the net. Westhoff there first for the force, but Compuware gathers it. Now onto the stick of Westhoff. He feeds it off the glass. Played with a high stick. 7:17 left in the third. 5-3 Fort Wayne.
Hey, this is not the time of 2 goals to try and get back. All of you, it's not the time to try and carry out. Out.
Face off one back for Warner, slaps it towards the net, goes just right. It's the one spot I can't see, so it's tied up on that end of the rink. And coming around for Compuware. Kept in by Warner at the blue line, shoots one from deep, goes behind the net. It's going to be gathered up by Hagen. Taken away by Compuware through center ice. Back is Cumberland and Warner. Warner backhanded towards the net, stopped by Frakes. A couple of Compuware players came together and fell into the net, but we got a 3-on-2 back the other way for the force. Leading the way is Warner. Shot. Rebound not controlled by Compuware. Loose puck. Fraze to try to pick it up. Out in front, backhanded. Another save. The puck is still loose. Hagen now taking some sticks and in the corner. Out high for Cumberland. He shoots one. It's blocked up front by Compuware. Back down into that blind corner for me. Hagen with it. Shot. Saved by Compuware. Fed off the glass. Into center ice, Compuware on a breakaway, stopped there by Warner as he cut towards the middle. It's going to be offsides.
Hey, good job, kid.
Way to skate that thing, right? Way to skate it. Great job. Hey, way to get in, get out, right? Way to get in, get out.
Face off back for Compuware to gather, stuffed by Fryer. Huffman to knock it back down low. Compuware gathers it up now, around behind their own net. Fed down the ice, Blackburn to gather it and feed it back the other way. Battling for its Fryer. Back to Blackburn. Fought for by Fryer and scooped up by Sutherland. Sutherland's got Huffman on to his left, takes a shot, saved there by Compuware. Back on defense is going to be Llewellyn and Blackburn. Blackburn stuffs that pass attempt, feeds it ahead to Fryer. Fryer carrying it into center ice, tried to get it to Huffman, little out of her reach. Compuware back the other way into the offensive zone. Swinging wide, poked away by Llewellyn. Pass towards the slot, stolen away by Sutherland. Touched up. Fryer now sends it all the way down the ice. It's going to go for icing, but we got under 4.5 minutes to go in this one.
Isaac! Hey!
Face off controlled by Compuware. Shot up high. Westhoff, the lead player here, sends a puck ahead. McDonald tries to keep it in. Down low for Cumberland. Cumberland around the boards. Kiefer tries to touch it ahead. He's stopped by Compuware. Puck comes to Compuware. Stick lifted by McDonald. Left in the skates there. Shot blocked in front by a couple players. Tried to clear out by Kelly and tipped to the side by McDonald. Down low, Compuware controls the puck. Taken away by McDonald as the puck goes through the crease to the opposite side of the rink. Battled for and taken off his skates is McDonald. Shot, kicked to the side by Quas. Westhoff flips it off the boards to center ice. Defensive change here for Fort Wayne. Llewellyn picks it up, feeds it over to Kiefer. Kiefer kicks it ahead to put it in deep for Fort Wayne. Pressure put on there. Into the corner, picked up by Compuware.
Back to the middle!
Compuware breaks the puck out. We're at the 3-minute mark. They enter wide, shoot blocked by Llewellyn. Puck comes down for Quas. Rebound, score by Compuware. Bring it within 1 right at the 3-minute mark.
My bad. Hey! Hey! Let's go! Go!
Block shot by Llewellyn has him uncomfortable on the bench. Face-off win from Hagen back to Blackburn. Blackburn feeds it off the glass, down the ice, into the offensive zone. Maybe that went for icing.
Harry, strong on this draw. Strong on the draw here. Brantley, get to the shooter here.
We'll keep an eye on the goaltender for Compuware as time ticks down. Face off. Stick lifted Fraze. Fraze controls the puck. Fraze has got Hagen and Potts with him as he enters the offensive zone. Hayes towards the center. He gets tied up, taken down. It's going to be a penalty here on Compuware. So 2:39, they're forced to go to a power play. Compuware late in the third puts the force on a power play. Power play unit is going to be Hagen, Fraze, Potts with Warner and Blackburn. Puck controlled down low by Compuware, picked up by Hagen in the corner. Tries to tip it around on the stick of Potts, now back to Hagen. Hagen feeds the slot. Shot by Fraze, just goes wide. Picked up by Hagen. Hagen feeds it over to Fraze. Fraze with a shot from deep. Blockered away by Compuware. Covered up and frozen. 2:12 remains. Minute 03 left on the power play. Offensive line change here for the Force puts Huffman, Sutherland, and Fryer on the ice. Shot on net, saved there by Compuware. Compuware coming the other way. Stopped by Huffman. She dumps it back in the offensive zone. Comes around behind the net. Stopped advancement there by Sutherland. Sutherland picks up the loose puck, feeds it up high for Warner. Kept in by Warner at the blue line. Warner rips one up high, almost in the netting off the high glass. Out front, stuffed at by Sutherland. Taken away by Compuware. 26 seconds on the penalty, a minute 30 left in the contest. Stopped advancement, fed out for Fryer. Fryer loses it. Pressured by Sutherland. Compuware picks up the loose puck, enters the offensive zone, swings wide. Sutherland takes away the puck, feeds it into neutral ice. Still fighting for it is Sutherland. Penalty expires. We got a minute left in the contest. Compuware picks it up, advancing the other way. I'm going to watch his goaltender, see if they pull it. Huffman dumps it back in deep. Compuware headed into the offensive zone, around Blackburn. Shot, blocked away by Quas. Goaltender out of the net for Compuware. 45 seconds remains. Compuware picks up a loose puck. Out front, Blackburn in the corner to gather it. Off the boards, into the neutral zone. Change for the Force on defense. Puts Cumberland Llewellyn on the ice. 30 seconds remains. Down, or up 1 goal for Fort Wayne. Empty net. Compuware stopped advancement, backhanded into the offensive zone by Fryer. Hagen to take it now. On to the stick of Fraze. Fraze with the puck with some open ice. Can he get a shot off? Fraze with a shot, blocked out in front. Gonna get a penalty called here, I believe, unless that was offsides. 13 seconds left. I think that was offsides. All right. 13 seconds, up a goal. On the ice is going to be Hagen, Fraze, Potts, Llewellyn, and Cumberland. Big face-off, picked up by Compuware, fed the other way by Llewellyn. Fraze dumps in the offensive zone, goes off a skate just wide of the net. 10 seconds remains. Compuware trying to make something happen here. Down the ice it comes, 3 seconds left. Game expires, hard-fought win by the Force. 5-4 over Compuware. So on the weekend so far, the Force will be 2-0-1. And they're going to be facing a tough Battle Creek Bombers team this afternoon. So we'll see you back for that game.